Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 2 of my current ongoing project, building an electric guitar for myself. Okay, so the first video was just basically an introduction, and I can't remember if I said I was building 2 guitars. I think I did. One electric guitar and one electric bass, short scale. I showed you in the first video that I have these neck blanks. So basically from here down, it's complete. It's all shaped and sanded and finished, and you've got the fretboard on there with all the frets in. And these are good. These are not particularly expensive, about 20 quid, $25 thereabouts, and they are pretty good. I've bought several of these before. Usually this part is longer, and you'll see that this one I've actually extended. This is going to be for the bass, neck and headstock, so I had to extend it a little bit. It's a bit too short. So yeah, as I said, these necks and fretboards, they're pretty good for the price. They're really nice and straight. The frets are really good, and if I look down the neck, they're all seated properly and completely level with each other. I may need to just dress the ends of the frets at the very ends here, just a little bit of a sharp edge sort of on both sides of the end. So other than that, it's not going to need anything. I'll probably just take off the edge with a file just to smooth that off a bit. But I mean, it is usable as it is. It's just, just needs a little bit of attention to the ends of those frets. So since the last video, I have jumped ahead a little bit. I'm sorry I did this off camera. So this is the neck blank. This one is going to be for the bass, and this one is for the electric guitar. And you can see I've already cut out the headstock and the tuner holes as well. So you can probably see, those of you that know, that headstock shape is Stratocaster. So how did I get that shape? Well, it was pretty easy. Let's just come back actually, the double neck guitar, I did end up pulling it to pieces, and as I suspected, I did have a few issues getting those necks out, because they were surrounded by, some serious meat, i.e. wood, and it was all glued. I don't really know why I did that. I won't do it this time. But I basically had to smash the body away from the necks. That was the only way I could get them out. The heat, what I usually use with the iron, because the wood was so thick, it just wouldn't penetrate all the way through the wood to soften the glue. So I literally had to smash that box to pieces around the necks, being careful not to damage the necks. So this is one of them. This is the actual guitar one. And I haven't cleaned it up yet. You can see obviously where it was in the neck pocket in the double neck. Yeah, it does need to be cleaned up, but don't need to do that yet. So this is a right-handed neck, and mine is a left-handed. You can see the headstock is the opposite way. So what I did was I took this right-handed neck, I took my neck blank, and I literally put them back to back, like so. Okay, so I put the 2 necks back to back, and then ended up with this. Hold on, let me just line that up a bit better. So I ended up with this, like this, and I drew around the headstock, around this headstock onto the blank. I drew around it, not the tuner holes at that stage. I just drew around the headstock, so that because this one is this one is right-handed, putting them back to back like that obviously reverses the angle of the headstock. So I ended up on the back you know, drawing around the headstock. I had the shape cut out, marked out, and then I cut it out on my bandsaw and tidied it up on the oscillating spindle sander. Now you'll see in a couple of areas we've got, you know, some scorch marks. Now the reason for that is my bandsaw blade was kind of blunt and it was burning the wood more than cutting it. So I had to buy some new bandsaw blades, and I ended up buying 2 coarse blades and 2 slightly finer blades. By that I mean the amount of teeth per inch. So I bought two blades at, I think it was 6 TPI or 5 TPI, teeth per inch, and I bought 2 again, and I bought 2 at, I think it was 10 TPI, 10 teeth per inch. So the coarser blades, that's 5 or 6 teeth per inch, is for cutting this wood. So this is the wood for the body, and this is 20 mil thick. So you need a coarse blade for that. And the finer blades, the 10 teeth per inch, are going to be for cutting out the headstock, because it is much thinner. I think that's 13 mil. Let me just check. I think they're 13 mil thick. Yeah, 13 to 14 mil. So it's a bit thinner than that wood that I use for the body. And also this is pretty hard wood. And as you can see, this is now cut down to size for the body blank. So the reason I know it's hard wood is because I cut this into these bite-sized chunks with my jigsaw. It was pretty hard going. So it is pretty tough wood. It's base wood. Let me just show you up close. You can see it's like pieces put together, but you know, a decent join. Don't know how well you can see that join. So it's what's known as base wood. It's pretty good quality wood, but it's not one single piece of wood. It's little pieces joined together. So yeah, that was how I did the headstock. So literally again to show you the 2 of them back to back. So the right-handed, that's actually the left-handed. So the right-handed neck back to back on the blank, drew around it, cut it out on my bandsaw, and then tidied it up on the oscillating spindle sander. And I've gone around the edges here and just kind of filed and sanded the edges so they're a bit more rounded. It's not quite finished, probably 99%. I've still got to do a little bit there, just to make the edges much smoother. It's not quite finished yet, but it's not really necessary at this stage. I won't be putting the necks in for quite a while yet. So that's how I'm making the headstocks, and like I said, it's a Stratocaster shaped headstock, and I've got a series of templates cut out. I cut them out on my laser engraver, and what I'm going with is not Stratocaster but Telecaster. So I like the shape of the Stratocaster style headstock. I prefer that shape to the Telecaster shaped headstock, but I prefer the Telecaster body shape to the Stratocaster body shape. So I'm going to have Telecaster style body and Stratocaster style headstock. That's just what I like. So I've got a couple of templates. This one I've actually cut a piece off the bottom so it's a bit shorter. I'll show you that way. So it's shorter that way. I cut about 5 centimeters off the bottom. If we compare it to this original one I had, I'm not sure how well you're going to see this, but let's see. So if I just put them together like that, line them up at the top, you can see, you know, there's this one is longer, so I cut a piece off the bottom. I have tweaked the shape and size of these templates that are going to end up being the guitar body. They're not full size, And the reason for that is because this wood that I'm using for the bodies is only 30 centimeters wide. So I can't do these bodies full size, but that's fine. I prefer them to be a bit smaller. But because I'd narrowed this, it kind of looked a little bit too long, and it would have meant that the bridge is sort of halfway up the body. And so I've made another template, exactly the same, but I've cut a little piece off the bottom. And I also extended these parts outwards, because it was a smaller scale. This was all a little bit too narrow, so I've extended these parts out and I've cut that bit shorter. I'm not sure which I will be going with yet, so I am going to cut out the larger one first, the longer one, so it's got this extra bit here. I'm going to cut that out first, and if I don't like it, then I will cut it down. So what I've done with this one is I've done a kind of a mock-up of kind of what it's going to look like. So humbucker here, and this is the bridge and saddles, and the control panel here. Now, those of you who know anything about guitars will know that this is Telecaster. This is a Telecaster control plate. So you'll have your three-way switch in here and your volume and tone controls here. Now, this is not exactly to spec and dimensions and everything else. I just kind of put the hardware on here as a mock-up, just to sort of kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. So this is not, this is not dimension perfect and everything. It's just a mock-up to see kind of what it's going to look like. And I've bought a few other bits and pieces for it as well. But before I show you those, as I said, I cut these templates out on my laser engraver. Now, what I was going to do originally was just use these to draw around onto the piece of wood and then cut it out on the bandsaw. But rather than doing that, I'm going to laser engrave the shape of these onto this piece of wood rather than drawing around the template, because it will just be a bit more accurate. I've set up my laser engraver to do the same thing again as these templates, but on that piece of wood. So the outline on the wood. I'm not going to cut it out on my laser engraver. I could, but it would take about 12 hours and it would not be a tidy cut. So I'm just using the laser engraver to cut it or to engrave the outline, and then I will cut it out on the bandsaw. Doing the outline with the laser engraver is it's just going to be a lot neater and more accurate, and also, unlike a pencil line, it won't erase, it won't rub off, it will be there. So I've got the laser engraver set up with the other piece of wood, because I've got two of these, because I'm going to double it. I mean, this is 20 mil, so it's going to have a front and a back, so a total of 40 mil, which is about 1.5 inches, slightly thinner than what they should be. They should be about 1.75 inches, which is about 45 mil. No, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit more anyway, but it's not enough to make a difference. And again, I prefer it a little bit smaller. So before I show you the other hardware, etc., that I've bought for this project, I'm going to get the laser started, cutting out the outline, engraving the outline on that piece of wood. So just bear with me for a couple of minutes. Okay. Come on. Okay, so I've already got everything set up. I did that off camera because it takes a little while. And the image I've got on screen for this engraving, I flipped it so that it's left-hand orientated, because the piece I'm doing right now excuse me, will be the top of the guitar, and when I do this one later, this will be the back. So I will then flip the image again so that we get the opposite opposite orientation, because that will be the back. So it's all set up, ready to go. I'm just going to check that everything's properly aligned. On the engraving software, you have a button that says frame, and that shows you where it's going to cut or engrave. I keep saying cut, it's engraving. Just to make sure that everything's aligned. So I'll just check that first. Okay, that all looks good, so I'm going to put the cover on the machine and then check it one more time, and then I'll make it start. Okay, that all seems good, so I'm going to press start now, and it will take only about 5 minutes or so. As I said, I'm literally just engraving the outline. Here we go. Right, so that's started. I'll let that run. As I said, that'll take about 5 minutes or so. And now I'll show you some of the other, or the rest of the hardware, etc. that I've bought for this project. So firstly, I've got a pick guard here, and I managed to find online a left-handed pick guard. So this is an actual Telecaster pick guard, and it's left-handed. And the same company was selling right-handed ones, and they were more expensive, which is really unusual. 99.9 recurring % of the time when you buy anything left-handed, not just in musical instruments, but most things, golf clubs, etc., left-handed is more expensive. But this I got dirt cheap and a little bit less than the right-handed version from the same company. Really strange. Now, if I just use this this template to show you, so if I just kind of put that in place. Oops. Actually, I will use the other one because it's less flimsy. And on this one, I've drawn an outline of the neck pocket where that will be. So if I line this part up with the bottom of the neck pocket, you can see that here it's not aligned, because obviously this is for a full-size Telecaster, and this template is kind of shrunken down. So I am going to have to shape this pick guard, so I'm going to have to cut down here and follow the contour around, not that far, follow the contour around here, and I am going to have to modify it. This side seems to be okay, but you know, lining this part up with the bottom of where the neck pocket will be, it's over more this side, because this whole thing is kind of shrunken down. So I am going to have to modify this. If we look at it from the back, you can see it kind of overhangs there as well. So I am going to have to modify that a bit, but that's not a problem. That's easy enough to do. I just hope I don't crack it, because these do break fairly easily. But you know, cheap enough, and I can get another one if I do, but I'd rather not. So this is the neck plate. This goes on the back of the body and screws. So you put the screws through here through the body and into the neck. So those are the neck plates. I've got 2 of those. And yeah, just coming back to this mock-up, you can see everything's in chrome. So I'm going pretty much all out chrome on this one. So these are a couple of the humbuckers. This is actually the spare bass one, and this is the spare guitar one. The other two, I haven't dismantled those yet, because I want to keep them as a you know, sort of a guide as to what I need to do. So, because my electrics are not my strong point. Okay, so I've got those, the humbuckers, the pick guard, neck plate, and these are the electronics, which I've taken out of the control plate for now. But again, Telecaster, 3-way switch and 2 control knobs, volume and tone. I've got the jack, I don't know how well you can see it through that bag, but the jack and the jack plate that goes on the bottom of the body. And I've got a set of tuners in here. I'm not going to take them out, but just ordinary closed geared chrome tuners. So I've got everything I need, and incidentally these are left-handed tuners. I had to pay a little bit for these, more than the right-handed ones, but not too bad. So I've got pretty much all of this. I think I've got everything I need now to do this build. Is there anything else I need? I've got strings, but I have actually ordered some more strings, so I've got more coming. But I've got everything I need. So I'm pretty much ready to go on this project. As I said, I did do this, you know, the headstock off camera. Should have showed it really, but never mind. So this project is started, has been started, if that's the correct terminology. And it's not going to be all that long, really. Two of the parts of this project that are going to take the longest are the body, the cutting, the shaping, the routing out the holes for the controls and everything. That's going to take a little while. And also the electronics. I know there's simple electronics on the Telecaster, but it's not my strong point, and I will have to figure out how to do the wiring. Once I've figured it out, it'll be straightforward enough, but it's just, you know, figuring it out. So the laser engraver is just finished, so I've just about got time to show you that. Stinks. Great, okay, so there is the, I don't know how well you can see that. Let's just put, why didn't I put the light on? Let's put some light on, there we go. So we've got the outline engraved on that piece of wood. It did just slightly go over the edge there, but I got away with that. It's just enough on there that I can do that, and you can see just how close this is. I mean, that edge there is really, really close as well. So that was as much room as I had to work with on this piece of wood, and that really isn't a problem. That didn't go over enough that it's a problem. That's going to be absolutely fine. So the outline now is cut on there. I'll do the same on the back, and then I will cut the pieces out on the bandsaw and finish them on the oscillating spindle sander. I may or may not film that or part of it, not sure yet, because it's messy and noisy and everything else. Okay, so not sure what part 3 will be just yet. We will see. Hope you're enjoying these videos in this new series on making an electric guitar. If so, please give a thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and in the meantime, look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.